जय श्रील प्रभुपाद। नाना शास्त्र विचारणैक निपुणौ सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्यकरौ राधा कृष्ण पादारविंद भजना आनंदेन मत्तालिकौ वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुजुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ. We were amidst trying to get simple definition or description about the 32 Vidyas. We are continuing here. Number 9 of the 32 Vidyas is Purusha Vidya. This Vidya occurs in the Chandogya Upanishad, 3rd part, 16. Here a person is described as a sacrifice. Verily, a person is a sacrifice. His first 24 years, the morning oblation. The next 24 years are the midday oblations. And the third 48 years, that is until the age of 116, are the third oblation. One who knows this Vidya lives for 116 years without a sickness or disease. The Upanishad says that Mahidasa Aitareya, who knew this Vidya, said, "Oh, why do you afflict me with sickness? Cannot be destroyed by these." And he lived for 116 years. Even so, one who knows this. The details of this Vidya are given in the mantras 1 to 7 of the 16th section of the Prapataka. This is a method of meditation on one's own life as a sacrifice in order to live a healthy long life. The first part of the life is devoted to study, second to household life, and the third to spiritual practices. The universalization of one's conception of life leads to immediate liberation. Number 10. Paryanka Vidya. This Vidya occurs in the Kausitiki Upanishad. This describes the Vidya called Paryanka or the coach of Hiranyagarbha or Brahman. Chitra Gayanti instructs Uddalaka and Swetaketu to this on this beautiful Vidya. The soul, when it becomes desireless, passes beyond the moon. Then it goes to the world of lightning. Then the Guru meets him. To him the disciple should say, "I am thyself." Then he is allowed to move further. Then the soul passes through the worlds of Agni, Vayu, Varuna, Indra, Prajapati, and lastly Brahma. In the last world, the world of Hiranyagarbha, there in the center of the hall is seated on his couch Brahma. And to him he should say, "You are everything and I am yourself." And then he is allowed in and meets Brahma. Before Brahma is reached, the soul passes through various stages of consciousness which are described in detail in the Upanishad. The throne of Brahma called Vichakshana in the hall called Vishnu Pramita is described as an immeasurable radiance and splendor. One who reaches this becomes filled with infinite power and glory. In the Brahma Sutras it is said that one who goes to this place gets even the power of creating, preserving and destroying to the extent that Krishna allows him to do them. That is, if he goes in tune with the one who is seated on the throne. This meditation thus leads to Saguna Brahman. Number 11. Akshara Vidya. This Vidya occurs in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 3rd chapter, text 8. Yajnavalkya instructs Gargi on the Akshara Vidya or the knowledge of the imperishable being. O Gargi, Brahmanas call the imperishable. The same one, it's not, of course, not fine not short, not long, not blowing, not adhesive, not shadowy, not dark, not airy, not space, not sticky, odorless, tasteless, without eye, without ear, without voice, without wind, without energy, without breath, without mouth, without measure, without inside, without outside. It is nothing, no one eats it. This Vidya is the corollary of the Neti method of Vedantic meditation. All phenomenality and relatedness are denied their validity, and after negating every conceptual attribute, what remains is that which is the eternal Akshara. Adosmi lokecha, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Adosmi lokecha vedecha praditaha purushottama. And that is that eternal Akasha, which is the dwelling place of Sri Krishna, from whose body disperses the whole bright, effulgent Brahma Jyoti, so much so that Ishavasya Upanishad says, please remove this light so that I can see your face. Number 12, Samvarga Vidya. This Vidya occurs in Chandogya Upanishad 4, 2 and 3. Sage Raigya intributes Janasruti on this Vidya. Cosmically, Vayu is the ultimatum of all. Fire, sun, moon and Parjanya merge into Vayu only. Individually, Prana is the ultimatum of all. In sleep, in speech, eye, ear, mind merge into Prana only. Vayu and Prana are the two Samvargas, are absorbance. Earth, water and fire merge in Vayu. This is one of the most important Vidyas which elucidates the supremacy of the prana of the vital air, both in its cosmical and individual aspects. The atonement of prana and Vayu enables one to reach the Mahaprana or Hiranyagarbha, the life principle of the universe. This process of meditation on the life principle lies through the harmonizing of the prana and concentration on the unity of the psychic being of the individual and the universe. It is told in this Vidya that denying food to a guest at the door is denying food to the cosmic life principle, for it exists in all equality. To one who knows this, all this world comes to the light and he becomes the cosmic consumer of food, the Hiranyagarbha. Number 13, Madhu Vidya. This Vidya occurs in the Chandogya Upanishad, 3rd canto, 1st to 11th verse. Verily, the sun is the honey of the gods. The cross beam for it is the sky. The atmosphere is the honeycomb. The light rays are the eggs. The eastern rays are the eastern honey cells. The Rig verses are the bees. The Rig Veda is the flower. Honey is produced thus. The Rig verses brooded upon the Rig Veda. From it, when it had been brooded upon, there was produced as its essence splendor, brightness, power, vigor and food. It flowed forth, it rested in the sun, that is the red appearance of the sun. The sun is described here in this Vidya as motionless and remaining alone with neither rising nor setting. From the standpoint of the sun, the sky is described as a cross beam of the honeycomb because the three worlds are like eggs, the higher expanding beyond the lower, and from the second world, atmosphere, which is between the sun and the earth. The third world would appear like a cross beam. The sun is the honey of the self of the second world, even as the soul is the honey of the body. The devas or the gods have the honey which they do not drink but are satisfied at the mere sight of it. The metaphorical meditation on the sun as the honey implies the meditation on the world soul, which is the center of the worlds and the planes of consciousness existing external to it. This meditation leads to Saguna Brahman, and to reach the Nirguna Brahman, one has to transcend the central essence of the sun, where Brahman is said to be with his Mayic splendor. One who knows this Vidya, to him the sun does never set. It is always a daytime for him. We give a break here. We will continue in the next segment.